College Week continues here on Good Days. We try to get families ready for that next big step, and it is stressful. There's a lot of anxiety involved. So today we're chatting with 2 local high school counselors about how to help your child pick a school and a major.
Joining us now is Amy Miller-Spavlik and Michelle Rocca. Got it right.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you for being with us. You've reminded me right off the bat, I need to start saving more for college. We can talk about that in just a minute, add to the 529B account. But let's talk about the most important year probably for high school students, which is the junior year. This is when they're taking the SATs, the ACTs. There's so much pressure on these kids.
Absolutely. So the big story this morning, too, that we're trying to focus on because it's so broad, is how to pick a college. So where do you start with do you start with your juniors or do you start with your seniors? Where do you go?
Well, you know what? For the sake of everything, I know Michelle works at Parkway. Her principal has she calls all the students scholars.
Oh.
So let's call them scholars.
Okay.
So
and where are you a counselor?
I'm at Franklin Learning Center.
Okay.
So really, starting early is the best bet.
Earlier than the junior year.
Earlier than,
Really?
Oh, yeah. And, things are when you're choosing a college, when you're choosing a major, what we always remember and we always take into consideration is that everything's personal. Everything, is every student chooses their own plan. And that's what we try to focus on.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, so let's get concrete for our parents.
Yeah.
What about junior college? How do you know maybe if your child should do something else?
Well, I think it all goes into bringing in a student, looking at their experiences, having them take a look at what starting point. Every student is completely different about what knowledge they have, what they're interested in. So when we're talking about colleges and choosing a college, it is a process. So that is why we really are saying you start all throughout high school.
Should you think about the major? Because some schools are better with other majors, you know what I mean? Like for me, I wanted journalism, so because I knew I wanted journalism, I just X'd out all the schools that didn't have a journalism major.
Right.
Everybody kept saying, oh, you can do English, you can do that. And I was like, no, I want journalism.
And Northwestern's one of the best.
Right, but a lot of kids don't know what they want to do. So what do you do for your teen if they don't know?
Well, and that's the first step, figuring out what you want to do with after you graduate.
You know what motivated me as a kid? My parents, when I was about 8th or 9th grade, started driving us around to college campuses.
Exactly.
And then you think there's something bigger than just my high school and my buddies.
Yeah.
You have to look forward to that.
Yeah,
You recommend that? I mean,
we do. What we are very big advocates of is just talking about it with meeting with parents, having parents, come up and talk with us, and taking the students through every step of the process. Well, I don't think you mentioned for both of us. For our schools, we have created our own website, phillycounselor.com. And that is a whole process that is put up there where students can take their time, parents can walk through.
Look at all of these websites, collegeboard.org, education plan. I've never even heard of these.
Well, and phillycounselor.com, the website that we designed, one-stop shopping. You can go to college planning. You can take career surveys, inventories, find out what kind of career might interest you. What we suggest to 9th graders is getting involved early. Getting involved with activities, clubs, community service, trying to figure out what you really enjoy doing in life. And I mean, we heard it from you. You always wanted to be a news anchor, and that's what you did. And and that's exactly what we try to really stress to the students is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
And I had no clue. The flip side of that coin is I just want to play center field for the Dodgers growing up, and I had to kind of find myself
and that's
in
like,
college.
This is what most of our kids are dealing with. That's just the truth. Like, you're not really sure.
Exactly. That is the majority by far.
So what do you do for that? And I'm glad you gave those websites, because a lot of especially in our Philly schools, we don't have a lot of counselors, or there aren't counselors in every, for every student. So I guess if you are at a high school where you don't have those resources, you have these websites.
You end up having to do a lot
again, even though phillycounselor.com is specific for Franklin Learning Center and Parkway, it's really for everyone. We just have a couple things specific for those schools, but everything else, going to collegeboard.org is probably the best website.
What's the biggest question you get from students?
tell us what to do.
Yeah.
And I think that and I think that is, so important for parents and students to recognize you need to go. It helps to go to a professional counselor.
So if someone has a question for you beyond what should I do, can they ask you specifically through your website? You'll do some Q&A with them?
Oh, yes. But we also, with technology, email. Our students have our phone numbers. We do texting. We do group email. Every student needs to have an email when they are applying to colleges, so we have all of them. We send out constant reminders.
Well, I always say, I appreciate you guys coming in. I've said
Thank you.
A high school counselor changed my life. I was in high school.
Thank you.
No, there's no question about it. I would not be where I am. There was a high school counselor, Miss Joan Cornelson, and she wasn't even in my high school. We didn't have it. It was another high school, and she met me at some program, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And she heard about an internship program when I was in high school, called me and helped me, set me on the right path.
And it's the resources. It's networking, all of that. We could do a whole show on that.
Really good. I know. So we have to go to their website. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So now we can talk about Burger King. I know the transition. Burger King is the newest chain to get technical. Speaking of technical, why you won't need cash in the near future. Let's just say that. Also, coming up in the next hour of Good Day, there are 3 questions that will tell a couple whether or not they are really meant to be together. Are you guys married, either one of you?
Yeah.
Well, stick
How's
around.
it going?
Yeah, I was going to say, stick around.
Great.